morning about this time, we like to talk about a number of things. A lot of times we end up into parenting. Obviously, I'm a parent, and so is Dr. Braccio, but it's a good topic. It's one we're all, at least most of us, are concerned with. We have parents, or we are parenting, and I know there are other issues around that we have to talk about, both mentally for us, but what kind of a parent are you anyway? Are you your kid's best friend? He says it's sort of a trend in the last few years to be a friend. You know, hi, buddy. You hear it, hi, buddy. My dad actually called me his buddy, but he was a dad. I will tell you that. But you hear even moms will call their daughters, hey, girlfriend. It just sounds weird to me when you hear something like that. Perhaps maybe you're a little permissive. You know, let them experience life. Let them make their own mistakes and learn from them. Could be a mistake there. What about being too authoritative or authoritarian? There is a difference, and we're going to find out about all of that. What's the best way to parent? Dr. John Braccio again joins us. And Dr. Braccio, it's great to have you back for Tuesday.
Well, Mike, always great to talk to you, my friend. And let's talk a little about different parenting styles, okay?
Hi.
And I'll preface this with that the authoritative parenting model is the best, tends to be the best. And I'll go into this a little bit here. Let's first talk about different models, okay? You have the authoritarian. Now, this is a bad one, okay? The authoritarian is the little dictator, the person who rules. You do exactly what I want, okay? And it gets a little confusing because the authoritative is a completely different type of parenting style. But let's talk the little authoritarian. This results, unfortunately, too often in low self-esteem, anger, impulse problems, because they're used to being around angry people, substance abuse, conduct disorder, behavior, and high levels of anxiety and depression. Now, a second parenting style is the permissive parenting style, okay? But the problem here, child never learns the rules of life, how to deal with reality, can end up being spoiled, very difficult to deal with all persons they encounter because they really think the sun, can easily become a narcissist. Sun comes up in the morning, so they have light and goes down at night so they can sleep, okay? Now, the problems with the uninvolved, neglectful, now this is another one of the parenting styles, is these are people that aren't involved or really can be very bad in terms of how they treat their children. This can result in low self-esteem, conduct disorders, again, those are behavior issues, substance abuse, poor academic performance, and juvenile delinquency because they have no models. Nothing good. In fact, they're negative what they have. Now, the positive and most promising parental style is the authoritative. And the confusion often comes here between the authoritarian that we talked about before, which is the one who dictates rules. But the authoritative person, here's someone who tries to adapt the parenting to the needs and wants of the child from infancy until they're really launched into adulthood. The hallmarks are a loving environment with respect, tolerance, firm recognized limits, good citizenship, good communication, always ready and willing to listen to the ideas and concerns of the child, and the willingness to say no. That's important. There's times you have to be able to say no and be consistent in parenting. Now, the child from this parenting style has the best opportunity to have a successful life, with positive self-esteem, without really higher than expected levels of anxiety and depression. The chances are also very good for solid academic performance and good citizenship. I think the important thing is that the child is always involved in the process. And if they choose that they do something wrong, they're aware consequences will occur because they were involved in setting the rules in the first place. And I think another comment to think of too, Mike, is, parents aren't always right. But in the long run, there's little doubt. Child understands parents did the best they could. I think that's an important thing. Parents aren't perfect. There are no rule sets that come with them. There's nothing simple about raising children, and all children are different, of course. So even the best plans do not always work out. So if I can give just a brief recap on the authoritative parent, this is the parent that has the ingredients of love, caring, being able to say no, understanding, reasonable expectations, and always ready to discuss issues and concerns. So that's really, I think, the goal of parenting, our open, relationships. There's no doubt, like you said about your dad, you knew he was dad, but he was also somebody you could relate to, interact with, and he treated you as a person, not just an appendage or someone to be ruled and controlled. So I think that as parents, we do want to make sure we don't fall into this permissive mode, into the neglectful mode, into the authoritarian mode, but try to be authoritative. You are the leader, you are the parent, you do make the decisions, but you do it with the child, and you do it in a loving, caring way. And those are the home environments that have the best, overwhelmingly the best opportunity to produce successful children who will then be successful, and they can go on for generations just by getting everything set in your home and then have that carry on over a long period of time. So that's really worth the effort to work at, try to do.
Yeah. Dr. Braccio, as always, great information. And I think the big takeaway here, at least for me, is to understand the difference between authoritarian and authoritative.
Yes,
because
right.
Authoritative, you're an authority. If you're a parent, somebody's got to be in charge. These are little people, and they're looking to you to show them rules, because life has rules, and the boundaries, they're going to push them. But authoritarian, man, you can't be like, I like what you said, the little dictator at the beginning.
Well, that's true. And those are people that produce people like themselves. And you're going to find that the people that are so demanding, they have a lot of anger, they use control, and they create those same attitudes in children, or they produce the people that are so meek and weak that they're just run over by the same kind of person the rest of their life. So it's really a very bad environment to grow up in. And I think your point you're talking on is there has to be a person who's in control. Parents need to be in control in the home, but that doesn't mean that they don't have love and caring and showing that they really want these persons really to succeed and come to life. I mean, have a wonderful life, because they didn't ask to be born. Children don't ask to be born. So I think there's a huge responsibility to do everything we can to make sure that these children that are here, our children, those that we love and care for, have every opportunity to be successful, move forward. It's not just based on money, on income, on education, on power. No, it's based on loving, caring, teamwork, and really teaching people by modeling, by helping, by involvement, that we can be a successful, pretty authoritative parent, which is really what we want, because it does get confusing, authoritarian and authoritative. It's unfortunate that those are the two words, because they sound a lot alike, but just think of one as the little dictator, the controller, manipulator, the only one way to do it my way, that type thing, versus the team player trying to involve the person, but still being able to say no. That's one of the confusing. A lot of people feel, well, if you say no, then you're going to hurt the person's self-image. Well, part of life is adapting to the rules of life. Getting your schoolwork done, doing chores around the home, being a good
showing up on time,
being respectful. Yeah, these are things that certainly they were important in the home I grew up in, my wife's home, and those are the type of things that we try to instill in our children, and our children do in their grandchildren. It's really part of it's a long road. I mean, you find if things are started right in a home, this can go for generations. It doesn't even end with the people that are doing it. So what you're doing now could be impacting your great-great-grandchildren that far down the way. It sounds kind of funny, but it's really true. It's critical that we teach our children to be good citizens, to be helpful, to be timely, to be respectful, to be loving, and we want to do the same thing to them, model the same behaviors.
There he is, Dr. John Braccio, as always, our Tuesday guest. Man, we could do a whole hour on this, Doc, but time is up. As always, I think a number of things you and I could talk about for a long time, but we'll do it again next Tuesday. We appreciate your time, and we'll chat with you then. Thanks, and have a good week.
Same to you, Mike. Bye-bye.
All right, bye, buddy. All right, we're going to do this and come back. It's your morning wake up, 1320 WILS. Mike Austin here, back in a minute.